when they were first coming out in 2023 are having quick connect failures, where the plastic gets brittle, blows out, and this is another huge problem. It's going to cost you a ton of money to maintain that hybrid vehicle. They're having problems with those engines too.
Families put their trust in SUVs because they promise practicality, safety, and reliability. For many buyers, the decision to choose an SUV over a sedan or hatchback comes down to space, comfort, and the belief that a bigger vehicle equals better value for long-term family life. But behind the polished marketing campaigns and glowing dealership promises, not every SUV has lived up to expectations. Some models have been plagued by mechanical failures, crippling maintenance bills, poorly designed interiors, or safety flaws that made them feel like anything but a secure investment. When a family spends hard-earned money on a car that is meant to be dependable, discovering that the reality doesn't match the promise can feel like a betrayal. Today's video looks at 10 SUVs that, despite their reputation or early hype, ended up being more trouble than they were worth. Let's go through them one by one and break down why they left families feeling scammed. Number 10. Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe. The Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe promised to be the sweet spot between rugged capability and modern efficiency. On paper, it looked like the perfect mix. Plug-in hybrid technology combined with Jeep's trail-ready DNA. In reality, it has been a frustrating saga for many owners. Reports poured in about hybrid system failures that caused sudden power loss while driving. Imagine confidently merging onto a highway, only to find your SUV deciding to take a nap mid-sprint. That's not the kind of excitement families signed up for. Beyond the powertrain drama, the electrical system seemed determined to sabotage the ownership experience. From dashboard warning lights flickering like a Christmas tree to infotainment systems freezing at the worst possible moment, it was more glitchy than modern. Add in a transmission that hesitates when asked to deliver power, and you get a vehicle that feels confused about its own purpose. For families, the hybrid angle was supposed to translate into fuel savings and fewer trips to the pump. Instead, it translated into dealership visits, unexpected costs, and long waits for repairs. Owners wanted seamless hybrid efficiency, but were handed a patchwork of unpredictable breakdowns. The irony is that the Grand Cherokee name once stood for reliable toughness on both highways and trails. The 4xe version instead became a reminder that cutting-edge technology, when poorly executed, doesn't enhance an SUV, it undermines it. Families expecting peace of mind ended up playing mechanic roulette. Jeep's attempt at electrification proved that a famous badge can't mask fundamental flaws. Number 9. Mazda CX-70 and CX-90 PHEV. Mazda's bold entry into the larger SUV arena had everyone curious. The CX-70 and CX-90 rolled out with sleek designs, spacious cabins, and promises of refined powertrains, including the much-anticipated plug-in hybrid. Enthusiasts applauded Mazda for stepping up, but excitement quickly dimmed when the reliability record stumbled out of the gate. Recalls became part of the ownership story far too soon. The PHEV version, the supposed eco-conscious star, bore the brunt of the trouble. Early recalls hit critical components that directly affected drivability. Suddenly, the dream of quiet, efficient family trips turned into inconvenient visits to the dealership. Even the new inline-six engine models weren't spared, facing their share of durability and mechanical concerns. For a brand known for simplicity and dependability, this was a jarring misstep. owners soon realized what it means to buy a first-generation model. Lots of hope, sprinkled with stress. Instead of feeling like pioneers enjoying Mazda's new flagship, many felt like test subjects helping engineers troubleshoot issues in real time. Confidence can erode quickly when recall letters arrive more often than maintenance reminders. The problem isn't just inconvenience. Families depend on SUVs for everyday reliability, school runs, commutes, and road trips. When a brand new vehicle is plagued with teething issues, it doesn't matter how premium the materials feel or how good the handling is. Dependability comes first. Mazda's ambition with the CX-70 and CX-90 was admirable, but the execution left buyers carrying more anxiety than pride. With recall notices stacking up, the excitement of ownership dulled into a waiting game, with families left wondering if their vehicle would be road-ready tomorrow or sidelined again. Number 8. Chevrolet Blazer EV. Chevrolet swung for the fences with the Blazer EV, packaging bold styling, cutting-edge tech, and a promise of family-friendly electric driving. It was marketed as the SUV that would bring practicality and innovation together. Unfortunately, reality arrived in the form of recalls and quality concerns. Early owners quickly found themselves tangled in service appointments instead of enjoying their new EV. One of the most alarming issues involved braking systems, with reports highlighting safety concerns serious enough to trigger recalls. Add improperly welded components to the mix, and confidence dropped like a stone. Software quirks only compounded the frustration, leaving owners juggling updates and visits to the dealer. For a vehicle touted as ready for the future, it often felt stuck in troubleshooting mode. The real sting came from the broken trust. Families investing in an EV expect reassurance that safety is uncompromised. When recalls target fundamental systems like braking, it's not just an inconvenience, it's a deal-breaker. Suddenly, the promise of quiet, low-maintenance electric driving gave way to anxiety about whether the SUV would perform as expected on the road. Chevrolet wanted the Blazer EV to symbolize progress, but many buyers saw it as a warning sign. Pushing technology to market before it's truly ready doesn't impress. It undermines confidence in the entire lineup. For those taking their first step into the EV world, the constant stream of problems turned enthusiasm into regret. The Blazer EV should have been a dependable, family-ready electric option. Instead, it became an example of how fast hype can collapse when hardware doesn't live up to the story. Safety, after all, isn't optional, and that's where this SUV stumbled hardest. Number 7. Cadillac Lyriq. The Cadillac Lyriq was supposed to be the shining star of GM's electric revolution, a premium SUV with futuristic flair and technology to rival the best in class. On the surface, it looked the part, sleek styling, a cutting-edge interior, and Cadillac's promise of luxury reborn in the EV era. Underneath, though, it carried the same baggage as the Chevrolet Blazer EV, since both shared GM's Ultium platform. That meant many of the same headaches came along for the ride. Owners reported recalls tied to essential systems, leaving them frustrated that their luxury purchase spent more time waiting on fixes than delivering refinement. Then came the build quality concerns. For a vehicle wearing a Cadillac badge, expectations were sky-high. Yet panel misalignments, rattles, and interior finishes that felt less than premium crept into the ownership experience. The dissonance between the marketing message and the reality of living with the Lyriq was hard to ignore. The most bitter part for families was the price. This wasn't an affordable experiment. It was a high-dollar investment meant to provide comfort and prestige. Instead, it often delivered stress and unreliability. Paying extra for a vehicle that feels unfinished doesn't inspire confidence, especially when daily usability is compromised. Cadillac pitched the Lyriq as a new beginning, but many owners felt like it was an unfinished prototype sold at full retail. When reliability problems combine with disappointing craftsmanship, luxury loses its meaning. For those who stretched their budget for this EV, the Lyriq ended up costing far more in patience than it ever saved in fuel or convenience. Number 6. Rivian R1S. Rivian positioned itself as the bold newcomer ready to redefine family adventure. The R1S launched with rugged looks, clever design, and promises of taking families farther into the future of electric exploration. Buyers imagined road trips free of gas stations and filled with quiet confidence. Instead, many quickly learned the reality of owning a first-wave Rivian, constant recalls and quirky software updates that tested patience more than tires. The R1S became notorious for over-the-air patches, attempting to fix issues ranging from infotainment freezes to safety concerns. While software updates sound convenient, the sheer frequency turned ownership into an endless cycle of waiting for the next fix. For a family SUV pitched as long-trip ready, uncertainty became the constant passenger. Nobody wants to wonder if their navigation system or driving aids will glitch halfway through a vacation. Hardware reliability also lagged behind the hype. Reports surfaced of components failing earlier than expected, sometimes leaving vehicles stranded. Even though Rivian has been working hard to address concerns, early adopters felt like they had signed up for an experiment rather than a dependable family vehicle. The R1S still offers an appealing design and strong potential, but potential doesn't get families safely across state lines. Reliability is the foundation of adventure, and without it, the promise of exploration falls flat. Rivian's bold ideas captured imaginations, yet execution left early buyers juggling recalls instead of enjoying the open road. For many, the R1S symbolized ambition, colliding with the harsh realities of day-to-day dependability. Number 5. Land Rover Discovery Sport. The Land Rover Discovery Sport arrived wearing the badge of one of the world's most recognized luxury SUV brands, paired with marketing that emphasized family flexibility. With a third row available, it seemed like a practical solution for those needing extra seating without jumping to a full-size SUV. But reality quickly set in. The third row proved cramped to the point of near uselessness, suitable only for children on short trips, and even then with complaints. Families expecting long-haul comfort got little more than occasional seating at best. Then there's the elephant in the room: reliability. Land Rover's reputation for breakdowns and high ownership costs has followed the Discovery Sport as closely as its nameplate. Owners have faced transmission issues, electrical glitches, and mechanical failures far too often for a supposedly family-focused vehicle. Frequent trips to the repair shop pile onto already expensive maintenance costs, making the SUV a financial headache. The contrast between branding and reality couldn't be sharper. Land Rover positions itself as the sophisticated choice, blending luxury with practicality. But when the seating doesn't suit real-world families and the reliability drains wallets, the promise falls apart. Families shopping in this category often prioritize dependability and everyday comfort. Two areas where the Discovery Sport struggles. The SUV may deliver stylish design and that prestigious badge, but those qualities don't carry a family through daily life. Practicality and peace of mind matter far more than image, and this model often fails on both counts. For many buyers, the Discovery Sport turned into a costly lesson that luxury branding doesn't always equal real-world value. Number 4. Dodge Hornet. The Dodge Hornet was pitched as the affordable gateway into Dodge's SUV lineup, offering sharp looks and a competitive starting price. But the fine print of ownership told a different story. Sharing its platform with the Alfa Romeo Tonale, it carried over not just the styling cues, but also the reliability headaches that plagued its Italian sibling. That meant questionable durability, wrapped in Dodge branding. Owners quickly learned that the low sticker price was only the opening act. Maintenance costs stacked up fast, with parts that felt more fragile than expected in a vehicle meant for daily family duty. Reports of electrical gremlins, build inconsistencies, and component failures popped up sooner than they should. For families hoping to cut costs, every unplanned trip to the service center ate into budgets and patience. Performance didn't save the day either. While the Hornet looked like it could bring excitement to the compact SUV segment, the driving experience often fell short of expectations. Between underwhelming refinement and a tendency to spend too much time waiting on repairs, its appeal faded quickly. The irony was tough to miss. Marketed as a budget-friendly solution, the Hornet often ended up costing more over time than better-established rivals. Families looking for affordable dependability found themselves juggling bills instead. When the numbers don't add up and reliability takes a back seat, affordability loses its meaning. The Dodge Hornet became proof that a cheap entry price doesn't always equal a cheap ownership experience. Number 3. Volkswagen Atlas. The Volkswagen Atlas checked a lot of boxes at first glance: spacious seating for 7, straightforward styling, and the appeal of German engineering. It seemed tailor-made for families needing room to stretch out without sacrificing refinement. Unfortunately, beneath that promising exterior, a recurring problem turned ownership into a hassle: oil consumption that was far too high for comfort. Owners reported needing to top off oil far more often than should ever be normal for a modern SUV. In some cases, engines consumed it so quickly that regular maintenance became a frustrating chore rather than peace of mind. Excessive consumption also raised long-term durability questions, leaving families unsure if their Atlas would keep up with daily life without costly intervention. Those extra service visits piled on the bills. What was supposed to be a practical family choice became a financial drain, especially when combined with Volkswagen's already pricey maintenance structure. The promise of engineering excellence didn't feel so excellent when wallets took the hit. To make matters worse, reliability issues extended beyond the engine. Reports of premature wear on components and recurring electrical quirks reminded owners that size and space don't automatically equal confidence. Families bought the Atlas for comfort and practicality, but what they often received was stress over upkeep. The Atlas still shines in terms of space and road presence, but those strengths are overshadowed when the basics, like keeping oil where it belongs, aren't handled well. For many families, the ownership story shifted from excitement to frustration far too quickly. Number 2. Ford Explorer, 6th generation. The Ford Explorer name carries decades of recognition and is often seen as a staple of American family life. But the sixth generation dented that reputation with a wave of safety recalls and reliability problems. What should have been a trusted, mass-market SUV ended up eroding the very trust that made it popular in the first place. The most concerning issues came from drivetrain failures, which were serious enough to catch the attention of regulators. When the NHTSA steps in with multiple recalls, confidence takes a nosedive. Families buying an Explorer expected confidence on the road, not uncertainty about whether critical systems might fail. Beyond safety, the ownership costs stacked up quickly. Frequent service visits, high repair bills, and ongoing reliability concerns made the Explorer less appealing despite its familiar badge. Instead of being a straightforward, dependable choice, it became a gamble. That hurt even more, given the legacy of the Explorer. Buyers drawn in by nostalgia or brand loyalty found themselves regretting the decision. The SUV's mass-market appeal turned into a liability when problems became too visible to ignore. A vehicle meant to symbolize trust ended up showing cracks in Ford's execution. The sixth-generation Explorer didn't completely erase the model's reputation, but it certainly tarnished it. Families hoping for worry-free ownership instead faced recalls, expenses, and stress. When safety itself becomes a question mark, no amount of marketing can repair the damage. Number 1. Dodge Journey. The Dodge Journey is remembered less for what it accomplished and more for what it failed to deliver. Marketed as an affordable family SUV, it ended up becoming one of the most heavily criticized models in its segment. Consumer Reports even gave it the dreaded title of lowest-rated family SUV, and the reasons weren't hard to find. Reliability was at the heart of the problem. The Journey struggled with frequent breakdowns, subpar components, and durability that lagged far behind competitors. Families who wanted a simple, dependable ride often ended up frustrated and stranded. Add in weak fuel economy that drained wallets at the pump, and the equation looked even worse. Handling didn't help its case either. Reviews consistently highlighted sloppy steering and an overall driving experience that felt outdated from the start. While rivals evolved with more efficiency, safety, and refinement, the Journey seemed frozen in time, delivering little more than the basics, and not delivering them well. The most disappointing part was its potential. Dodge had the chance to offer families an affordable, reliable alternative in a crowded market. Instead, the Journey became a cautionary tale about cutting too many corners. What should have been an accessible choice turned into a symbol of compromise, where savings came at the cost of quality. For families, that meant owning a vehicle that missed nearly every mark: reliability, efficiency, and safety. The Dodge Journey left behind a legacy not of strength, but of frustration, remembered as the SUV that never lived up to its promise. Buying an SUV should give families peace of mind, room for kids, confidence on the road, and the reassurance that the vehicle will last for years. But as we've seen, not every SUV lives up to that promise. From unreliable hybrids to cramped interiors, and from sky-high maintenance costs to critical safety issues, these models left too many families disappointed. The lesson here is simple. Bigger and more expensive doesn't always mean better. Research, reliability data, and real owner experiences matter more than glossy brochures or aggressive marketing. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to hit the like button Drop a comment about which SUV you think was the biggest scam for families, and subscribe for more in-depth looks at the vehicles that shape our daily lives. Your support helps us keep bringing honest, detailed content to car buyers everywhere.